Hello, hello, hello. In the spirit of trying to resist taking a nap, which I feel like I'm going to anyway, I want to dive into a topic that I'm very unaware of. Like I said in my last video, I want to touch on memory management and teach myself what it is. Like, just learn the general concept of what memory management is for myself. I have my Microsoft Bing open. Only reason I have Bing, before you shoot me down in the comments, because I get points. You get your points, get your gift cards, things like that. I've already got like a $10 gift card I was able to buy something stupid with by just doing what I was already doing. You could say, oh, Microsoft's tracking you, but so is Google, so is Safari. Like, it doesn't matter. Everyone's tracking you. Who cares? So what I want to just go into first of all is, what is memory management? Let's just see. So, memory management is a critical component of modern computer systems, ensuring efficient use of primary memory, RAM, and optimizes the performance of processes and applications. It involves the allocation and deallocation of memory spaces to various processes, managing the transition of data between main memory and disk, and maintaining the integrity of data during process execution. See more, because I have no idea what that meant. So essentially what it talks about is how, when we write programs, how that program deals with its demands on memory, like what it's doing kind of thing, I'm guessing. So let's get into the key concepts. We have main memory, which is often referred to as RAM. Main memory is a large array of bytes or words, each with its own address. It is a volatile storage area where programs and data resides while being processed. So think of like a transient unit. The CPU accesses instructions from the main memory based on the program counter's value. Memory management. This is the process of managing the memory space available in a computing system. It involves allocating memory to processes where they start and freeing it up when they terminate. I guess this is like an automatic process from what I'm seeing. Right after this, I'm going to go through and ask it to show me some examples of memory management in various languages, just to see how we get down with that. Where was I? The operating system typically handles this task, subdividing memory to accommodate multiple processes. Okay. Logical versus physical address space. The logical address is generated by the CPU during the program execution, while a physical address is the actual location in main memory. The memory managed unit, the MMU, translates logical addresses to physical addresses, a process crucial for efficient memory use. Okay, so it's like it exists in the ether and then it becomes real when it comes from logical to physical address space, maybe? When we have static and dynamic loading involves loading the entire program into memory at a fixed address before execution, while dynamic loading loads routines only when they are called, leading to better memory utilization. Okay, so I think about this as, I could be wrong here, but I think about this as like when I code in Python, how when the code is running and it's running from top down, and it will, like, bugs happen when it stops at a certain point. Like, it's going, and it won't do something if it hasn't been called yet. Versus, like, your low-level languages where the whole thing has to compile and then it runs. I could be very wrong about that, but that's just me trying to make sense of this. And then we have static and dynamic linking. Linking combines multiple program modules into a single executable file. Static linking does this before runtime, while dynamic linking includes stubs that load necessary routines into memory only when needed. So it seems to be that static is everything at once, the whole thing at once, versus, hey, static is everything at once, dynamic is, I'm going to use you when I need you, or use you when you need to be used, I guess. Swapping. This is the process of moving processes in and out of main memory to secondary storage, allowing for more processes to run than there is physical memory available. Continuous memory allocation. It refers to the allocation strategy where each process occupies a single contiguous section of memory, which is essential for managing multiple user processors. So I guess this is really good when you start getting into applications and programs that have more than one function, and you can do more than one thing at once. Then we have memory allocation algorithms. These includes first fit, best fit, and worst fit, which determines how memory is allocated to process based on the size of available blocks. Fragmentation, this occurs when there are gaps in memory that cannot be used efficiently. Internal fragmentation happens when memory blocks allocate to processes that are larger than needed, while external fragmentation occurs when free memory blocks are non-contiguous and cannot satisfy a memory request. Okay, cool. Challenges and solutions. Memory management faces challenges like memory leaks, where programs fail to release memory no longer in use, and fragmentation, which can be mitigated using algorithms that reduce external fragmentation or techniques like compaction. Virtual memory, crank this up a little bit. Virtual memory systems enhance memory management by allowing the use of more memory than physically available. So like cloud, I'm guessing. And then where am I? And using techniques like paging and swapping, however, they also introduce overhead and can lead to performance issues if not managed correctly. In summary, memory management is a complex but essential aspect of computing, whatever. Now, cool. So I guess that is memory management. It's the concept of programs are going to be using RAM and how that program uses its ability to use its RAM and how its function can affect its performance. To sum it up lightly, what I want to now go into is this thing called a garbage collector. So what is a, not garbage plate, garbage collector? We'll go in C#. This is taking all day. I wonder if it's taking an answer. Okay, cool. In C#, the garbage collector is an automatic memory management system provided by the .NET runtime. Its main job is to allocate memory for objects and free memory that is no longer being used, so developers don't have to manually release it like in C and C++ with the free function or the delete function. How it works. Okay. Let's go here. Let's see if it gives me some code. You can invoke the garbage collector manually by using this. Okay, hold on, let me back up. There's a video for it. Go check that video out. You don't need to manually feed memory like in C or C++. Generation, okay. Okay, boom, here we go. So using system, we have a class program, our static, we're creating an object, and then we're creating a class, essentially. We're moving a reference, so the object will be null. We're gonna force collection, so we're gonna use our collect function. And then we're just gonna wait and just see what happens. That's why I am terrible when it comes to reading this. I have no concept of this. Let's see. Is there a GC in Python? Yes, Python has a garbage collector for memory. Wow, okay, I didn't know this. Relies on reference counting complemented by a cyclic garbage collector. Okay, so we have A equals function, B equals A, delete B. Okay, import, of course, it's a module, you gotta import it. Check if garbage collector is enabled, print GC is enabled, manual trigger garbage collection, gc.collect. Okay. How it works. The garbage collector identifies groups of objects that are mutually referencing each other, but are unreachable from the program. Once detected, these objects are safely deallocated, preventing memory leaks. Okay. Avoid unnecessary reference cycles by using weak references, weak ref modules for caches or observer patterns. Let Python handle most memory management. Manually controlling garbage collection is rarely needed. I think that's because it's dynamic in the way that it's built. So a lot of these things are done automatically. Unless I just repeated what it said, I'm not sure. For resource management, always use context managers with statements rather than relying solely on garbage collecting. Okay, so cool. Brief overview in case you didn't know. I looked this up in the same way anybody else can. I'm gonna do these things with just little terms that I hear in a lot of videos, and I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you learned something, leave a like. If not, put the next thing that I could possibly learn in here. Let's use the community so I can guide on and become a better programmer. I will see you guys on the next one. I'll back with your boy.